Good morning Michigan.
صباح الخير ميشيغان.
احنا هنبتدي الحلقة النهاردة بفضل شاكر.
لا يا سامح، نحن حنبتدي الحلقة فيروز.
نبتدي بفضل شاكر؟
لا يا سامح فيروز.
ما كانت امبارح فيروز.
سامح، التراديشن تبع البرنامج كل يوم ببلش فيروز.
تراديشن دي انجليزي؟
انجليزي يا سامح، وهو ده اللي عندنا.
طب بس عندنا حاجة مختلفة النهاردة.
صباح الخير وكل الخير يهدي لك صباحك.
Good morning and thank you for being with us. This is Khalil Hachem, editor of wnzk.com, a digital business magazine serving the Arab American communities in Michigan. We provide business and real estate news, loan and lending information, support to small businesses, and much more. Visit us at michigan.com. Thank you for being with us today. It's Thursday, August 11th, 2022. The number here is 248-557-3300. Give us a call should you have a question or comment in Arabic or in English. It's a beautiful morning. The temperature is in the low 60s and could reach the mid 80s. It's a perfect, beautiful summer day. We wish you the best of health, wealth, and happiness. Summer travel, this is going to be the topic today, and we're going to start the program with this topic. As you well know, millions of people travel through the Detroit Metro Airport every year, and hundreds of thousands of people return every summer from traveling into the the area, returning from overseas, returning from whether it be at Lebanon, Egypt, any other places, Iraq, and today we wanted to talk about what to expect when to get to the airport. So if you learn the process, you learn what's going on, excuse me, and you learn the process, that makes it easier on you and on the men and women who are serving us to make sure that everything goes smoothly. It's just such a hectic job, and we thank all the men and women who really do this work to keep us safe. And with us this morning is Chris Perry. He's Director of Field Operations at the Detroit Metro Field Office of the U.S. Customs and Border Protection. And he's with us this morning to help us understand the process and give us a few tips on what to do, what to expect, and how to make the process smoother. Good morning, Mr. Perry.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me on this morning.
Absolutely. It's our pleasure. Very quickly, tell us about what you do and what your agency does, because a lot of people get confused. TSA and other agencies. TSA is concerned with people leaving, and you guys are concerned with people coming into the country.
Yeah. So CBP, U.S. Customs and Border Protection, is part of the Department of Homeland Security. And within DHS, there's approximately, I think it's 22 agencies within DHS. So certainly CBP, the TSA, are the two large ones that many are very familiar with, in addition to the U.S. Secret Service and some other agencies. So, CBP, we are, the United States' border enforcement agency. We are at all the land borders and airports, throughout the nation. And one of the things that people oftentimes get confused about is the various divisions within CBP. So there's the Office of Field Operations that I work for, which are the men and women in blue uniforms that are at the ports of entry, the airports, and the land borders. There's the Border Patrol that we often hear a lot about with on the southern border, and they work between the ports of entry. And then certainly our Office of Air and Marine that has boats and kind of airplanes. So the
recording in progress.
The focus of what I'm going to talk about pretty much is what occurs at the ports of entry, the land borders, and the airport.
Absolutely. So. What one of the things that most people confused about is, leaving is a different process. Returning is totally a different process. So once I disembark from the plane, I get into immigration first. Is that correct?
Yeah. So, so CBP, we enforce 400 statutes of law for over 40 government agencies. So primarily, we enforce immigration law, customs law, and agriculture law. And, certainly we inspect people coming into the country, but CBP also has the ability to inspect people leaving the country also.
Okay. Okay. So when people first coming in and they're gonna have to go through immigration first, what do people need to know?
Yeah, I certainly. Well, what people need to know is, that they're going to be, questioned by a CBP officer. They're going to have a conversation, a very brief conversation, about where they've been, how long they've been out of the country, if they have anything to declare, because that CBP officer is really trying to do one thing, and that's to make a admissibility determination, on the individual that's in front of him or her. So when that passenger gets off the plane, they go down into our inspection facility. They see that officer. What's going to happen is the officer is going to take a picture of the individual. Because we have a system called Simplified Arrival that helps us expedite the process. Uses facial comparison, and then the officer is going to ask them some basic questions to determine someone's admissibility into the country.
Absolutely, and it is. What other are there any automations before I talk to an officer, or the automation comes in? Because I remember when I came in last time, I scanned my passport and I scanned different information. Is that after or before talking to an individual?
That would depend on if the individual is enrolled in one of our trusted traveler programs.
Okay.
For example, at the airport, we have something called Global Entry, and those are for people that have been screened beforehand, that are part of our trusted traveler program. So if you're someone that is in our Global Entry program, you would go to a kiosk before, you would see the officer, and then that would expedite your process. Now, if you're not a member of one of those trusted traveler programs, then you would go see the officer. You would see the officer first.
Okay. What kind of paperwork do I need to have in my hand other than my passport?
That's pretty much what you would need, just your passport. When you talk about automation, in the past, there are actual physical paper declarations that we would have people fill out. We don't do that anymore because of the automation we put in place to help expedite people's clearance through CBP.
Absolutely. Last time when I traveled in Amsterdam, there was quite a bit of work before I left the airport in Amsterdam. Does that really help you guys when I get to the airport?
Not that much, for us. When someone is, flying, when that ticket's purchased, I mean, we have all the information we need at that point, to kind of to do our job before the people arrive. So that really isn't something. The advanced information is something that helps us do our job, but what happens in that foreign airport really isn't all that significant for us, other than the fact that individual has been security screened to U.S. standards before they even get on the plane.
You get on the plane, exactly. Any tips for those who are encountering the officer? What's the best way to make that process easy?
Yeah, so I think the best thing for people to be able to do is really just answer the few questions that officer is going to have for them. They're going to ask where they've been, how long they've been out of the country, and then probably one of the most important things is if they have anything to declare. And generally speaking, what we see is people coming from it could be vacations or for business overseas. And we just need them to let us know what they have, because, for example, agriculture products, coming from different places of the world can create challenges for us. They can bring in infectious diseases or pests that could damage the United States' agriculture, U.S. agriculture. And then, generally speaking, currency. If someone has more than $10,000, they would just need to declare that to us. And what I point out all the time is that you can have as much money as you want. You just have to let us know that you have it, and declare it to us. Whether you're coming into the country or leaving the country. But that's really it. They're going to ask you some very basic questions, and the important thing is once they have something to do, we want to know if they have anything to declare to make sure that what's coming in is safe, for the United States.
Absolutely. Now, when it comes to money, let's say I have $9,000 and then the officer asks me and I say I have $9,000. Is the officer going to ask me, where it come from? How do you got it? Or anything like that? Or as long as I'm under 10,000, there are no questions to where the source is?
No, I mean that the officer has a broad discretion to ask questions. So I mean, it's possible that they could ask you, some questions, additional questions about any funds that somebody would have. But again, like I mentioned earlier, you can bring as much money in or out of the country as you want, as long as you declare it to us. And in general, it has to be a legitimate source. It can't be the proceeds.
Absolutely.
Right. It can't be the proceeds of criminal activity or something like that. But
Yeah.
all you have to do is declare it. But the officer again can't ask clarifying questions if he or she needs to.
So if somebody's bringing more money, they're going to declare. It's recommended that they provide some kind of they have some kind of information. What's the source of the money, to make sure that that they don't really not get in trouble, but if they question, they can provide that information.
Yeah, exactly. And most of the time it's just going to be, a conversation that's had with the officer with respect to, how much money they have and where it came from. I mean, if it's a very large amount of money, that someone has, when we understand it all over the world, that there are challenges with banking systems and governments and so on. But just being able to identify clearly where it came from. Maybe it's the proceeds from the sale of a home. Maybe it's
inheritance or whatever.
Inheritance, a gift.
Yeah.
Maybe it's someone just bringing money to family members overseas that need some assistance. But we just need to have some type of idea of what the source of the funds would be. Yeah. And documentation is always good. If it's a really large amount of money, documentation always helps.
Yeah. And if there are no documentations and they don't declare it and the money is found, it could take, it could create complications. It could take a long time to really clear it.
Yeah, I mean, and let me just point this out. There's a misconception, I think, a lot of times about what happens at the airport, especially with currency and currency seizures. I mean, we in the state of Michigan, prior to the pandemic, we see about 20 million people a year at the airport. You're looking at over 1 million people a year coming in through Detroit Metro Airport. So we there's a lot of travelers and passengers. So what's I think is really important is that, given that volume for people, again, just to let us know what they have. But my point is that we don't merely just ask somebody one time and then, got you, and take somebody's money. We're having an individualized conversation with that traveler and asking them multiple times if there's currency to declare or so on. So again, the best thing to do is just declare it. However, if someone does not declare the money, if they have money after multiple times of asking, we do have the ability to seize that money to determine whether the sources of the funds are legitimate, and then the traveler would have, I think to your point, the traveler would have an opportunity to petition to get that money back, and all they would have to do is provide what the source of the funds was. But that all could have been avoided if someone merely just says, yes, I have more than $10,000 and answered the officer's question.
Absolutely. And bring in whatever they or disclose whatever they're bringing in, whether it is allowed or not, then it'll be determined right then. So
yeah. And we understand too, all over the world, people have skepticism about governments and government officials and the integrity of government officials. But I just want to assure you and all your listeners that CBP officers are held to an incredibly high standard. So their integrity, their characters, important. We don't take people's money for ourselves. I mean, we don't do that. That's not how we operate. So we just need people to understand that and be honest and truthful with us. And that's going to expedite their process. Most people clear, out at the airport in literally a minute or less. That's the vast majority of people. Yeah. So just be honest and truthful, and it'll be very
consistent too. Consistency helps. Yeah. Yep. I remember one time I was at the Canadian border, and I really did not recognize. I had a rental car, and I didn't recognize that the tag was from Minnesota. And the officer asked me, "Is this a Michigan car?" And I said, "Yes," because I rented it in Michigan. So that consistency, they stopped me, they searched, and it took a half an hour, but they did what they had to do, and I was on my way. So consistency really, really helps. One thing that people don't understand is that your officers have more discretion with the law than TSA. So when you're coming to the country, when I'm coming to the country and I'm asked to, if they want to see my phone, my computer, I would have to, provide that. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to. I mean, CBP officers have broad discretion, to search people both entering and leaving the country. Like you mentioned earlier, like vehicle searches, it could be luggage searches, and certainly electronic media. So we would have the ability, with a particularized need, to search those things.
Absolutely. One time I was asked whether I have another passport. Is that am I allowed to have different passports, or I'm not, which I don't. I didn't at the time.
Yeah, no, people can and do have additional passports sometimes from other countries, and the reason why that's important is basically when someone, whatever passport you're traveling on is going to determine in essence how CBP processes that individual, right? If you're a U.S. citizen and you have a U.S. passport, that U.S. passport provides you, with certain, rights to enter the country. However, if you're traveling, let's say you have a U.S. passport, but you're traveling on a foreign passport, we're going to look at that individual and treat them based upon, the passport that they present. So, do they need a visa? Is there any special requirement that they would need to meet based upon traveling on that foreign passport? But people have multiple passports. We see it on a regular basis.
Yeah, if I'm at the checkpoint, I mean talking to the officer, and I'm not satisfied with the way that officer has conducted him or herself with me, what can I do? What's the redress there?
Yeah, I'll tell you, the best thing to do if anybody has a complaint or a concern about how they're treated is to immediately request to go and speak to a CBP supervisor. There's multiple supervisors on site at the airport, and we have an obligation to treat people with dignity and respect. We do have a job to do. I mean, CBP officers' function is to really protect the country, keep dangerous things and dangerous people out of the country. So sometimes the questions that they may ask, people may feel that they're invasive. But if someone is really concerned about how they're treated, immediately request to speak to a supervisor, because we want to address that issue right from the beginning. What I will say is this, though: what oftentimes what happens is we don't get no one raises the issue with us. And it could be 6 months later, someone says, "Hey, I was at the airport 6 months ago when this happened to me." Which great. I appreciate hearing that, but that doesn't help us address the issue, because so much time has passed. So again, best thing to do is immediately raise it with a supervisor. Or you can go online to CBP. We have a complaint system if somebody wants to make a complaint if they don't feel comfortable doing that. There's a whole host of ways that people can raise issues with us. But the key is do it as soon as possible.
Absolutely. Where do people find information, prior to coming to the country, if they want to, brush up on the laws and regulations and all of that?
Yeah, probably the best place to go is the CBP website, cbp.gov. And on that website, there's a whole host of resources available for travelers with respect to what they could bring in, what they can't bring in, prohibited items. It'll address some of the issues with agricultural products, food products or other culturally sensitive products, in addition to currency reporting requirements. But that's a great resource, cbp.gov.
Absolutely. Is there anything I haven't asked you that people need to know?
Yeah, I would just say this: like the men and women of CBP are dedicated and committed, to protecting our country, treating people with dignity and respect, and at the same time trying to make sure that people are processed or inspected as efficiently as possible. I mean, we see millions of people a year. We have a very broad mission. And we cover more than just the airports. So we have a lot of work that we do, and just know that we try to do the best that we can every day. But our obligation is to treat people with dignity and respect. But at the same time, we have a really important job to do to protect the communities that we all live in.
We really appreciate all you do to keep us safe, and we will get into the habit of doing this once a year at this time of the year when people are returning, so they know what to expect. Mr. Perry, I want to thank you so much for being with us this morning, and again, thank you for all you do.
Yeah, thank you so much. Have a great day.
Absolutely, you too. We're going to take a short break. Please stay tuned.
When it comes to reproductive medicine, IVF Michigan Fertility Centers are the recognized leaders. With locations in Bloomfield Hills and 5 other cities in Michigan and Ohio, IVF has experts in all aspects of the field. As a founding member of IVF Michigan Fertility Centers, Dr. Nicholas Shama is one of the leading reproductive endocrinologists in Michigan and Ohio. Dr. Shama has performed over 10,000 IVF cases and has helped thousands of couples fulfill their dreams of parenthood. American board certified in both obstetrics and gynecology and reproductive endocrinology and infertility, Dr. Nicholas Shama is a very caring, compassionate, expert physician that understands not only the medical but also the emotional toil of infertility on his patients. When it's time, get personalized care from Dr. Nicholas Shama at IVF Michigan Fertility Centers in Michigan and Ohio. Call toll-free 855-952-9600, 855-952-9600.
Five-year-old Lila and her mom are on their way home from Grandma's, singing Lila's favorite song. A few blocks away, 25-year-old Dylan is visiting friends at a small party. He finishes off his last beer,
later, skater,
gets in his truck, and starts for home. Mom and Lila turn onto Maple Street. So does Dylan. Every 50 minutes in the United States, someone dies in a crash involving a driver impaired by alcohol or drugs. If you're impaired and you know it, don't drive. Drive sober. A message from the Michigan Office of Highway Safety Planning.
At Top Rehab Physical Therapy Clinic in Dearborn, we provide effective physical therapy sessions in order to limit pain and discomfort. Top Rehab provides physical therapy care for any diagnosis prescribed by a physician, and we regularly see and treat conditions such as stroke, TMJ, fibromyalgia, sciatica, joint pain, and more. We use a variety of pain management methods, including modalities, soft tissue mobilization, and therapeutic exercise. If you're in need of physical rehabilitation or physical therapy, get the highest quality health care at Top Rehab. Most insurance is accepted, and we're open Monday, Wednesday, and Friday 8 to 6, Tuesday and Thursday 8 to 5, and Saturday 10 till 2. Call for an appointment today at 313-846-0555. That's 313-846-0555. Choose Top Rehab Physical Therapy Clinic on Michigan Avenue in Dearborn. Life's too short to be in pain.
Welcome back, and thank you for being with us. And I want to thank Mr. Perry for for giving us this great information for people coming returning from from overseas and at the airport, and what to expect and what not to expect. And it's very important to remember that I understand you're an American citizen. I understand you have rights, but those rights are limited when you're at the border. Before you come in, you need to be as easy talking, as consistent, as truthful as possible with the officers. Remember, these officers are doing their job, so be as kind to them as possible. Recently there's an ongoing saga in the Middle East, and this is really a terrible place to be. And it's what's been called one of the largest open prisons in the world, and that's Gaza. And and there are a lot of organizations that are providing help, and one of those organizations that are providing help is Life for Relief and Development. And with us this morning is Dr. Abed Alawneh, who is Community Relations Coordinator with Life for Relief and Development. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Hachem. How are you? And thank you
Good,
so
good.
much
How are
for
you?
inviting me. Good, good.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Tell us a little bit about what's needed, what you guys are doing there, and what's needed and how we can help.
Well, first, I will be really missing if I don't thank this radio station, US Arab Radio, for being our voice in many occasions, just to cover what's going on around the world when it comes to our humanitarian work. Thank you so much, Mr. Khalil.
Absolutely.
You know what? As you mentioned, it's like sort of a jail, and it's actually, I need to mention that Gaza is the most concentrated area when it comes to population. It's the worst when it comes, to resources, mobility, just living. It's really very hard, and we're here to talk about what we need. Actually, I received many letters from not only from our representatives there, but also from people that we know, like asking us really urgently to help them. And also I want to mention that, we are in the ground not only from today. We've been providing help for Gaza, and actually we are in more than 30 countries around the world. So in Gaza, we have our office there that we provide like water tanks. So we provide also, we sponsor orphans after school, emergency response in different areas, medical supplies, medical equipment. So we are on the ground, but what happened is I don't think the news gives the right number. I'm sorry to say a number of the people, because they are people, they have lives, they have dreams, of how many, people died in the last, I want to call it attack. Actually, 43 people, including 19 children, were killed there. Not only this, hundreds of homes were destroyed, roads were destroyed, businesses, factories, schools, and that really will put them in a situation that there are no resources, no food, no transportation, no water. Water lines, or tanks were destroyed, were cut. No businesses, no bakeries. They have nothing, and these people have nothing that they are storing in their homes like we do here in the United States. So
Absolutely.
There is a great and a huge need.
And what role has your organization played in providing that help?
Thank you. This is a great question. We responded immediately after we received the letter, and we sent an emergency relief to Gaza. But the need is huge. I mean, we are at this minute, our crews are trying to get them water, trying to get them also electricity, no electricity. So we try to provide some alternative ways to have lights, so they don't sleep in dark. We are ongoing sponsoring orphans, but at this time, we are trying to respond to their question, what they are asking for. They're asking for blankets, they are asking for food, they are asking for water, and they are asking for medication, medical equipment. And this is the letter that they sent us at this time. This is the huge need for this moment.
If people want to help, how they can help?
Well, they can help. We have many ways they can help. First, they can go to lifeusa.org. It's our website, so they can go there and they can choose any project. At this time, we really ask people to help us with this emergency situation in Gaza, so they can go to lifeusa.org, or they can call us at 248-424-7493, and they can ask for anyone. They will direct them to somebody who can collect the donations. Or if they want to go in person, well, I think I encourage anybody to go, but they can call us. They can go to our office on 17300 Western Mile. So this is the way that they can help. And also, we have many events. We are conducting many donation collection events at many local mosques or churches. So they can be a part of this project, and they can help us.
Absolutely. And, some people generally, when they're donating to organizations that help overseas, are a little bit apprehensive. Now, tell us, you are licensed by the United States to collect funds and distribute funds, so that shouldn't be an issue.
Well, it's not only this. Okay, we are maybe one of the, if not the only, maybe one of the few organizations that they are registered in West Bank and Gaza to provide services. And also, for the sake of transparency, everything is on the web, and they can donate in the web. And when it comes actually to orphans, you can choose the orphan you want to sponsor, and you can be in contact with him or her directly without us being so you can find out what's going on. We've been in maybe for this year, we are celebrating, next year we're celebrating our 30 years of experience of providing a humanitarian around the world. Okay, so we are a well-respected organization, and if anybody has any question about this project in Gaza, they can. I'm in charge of this project, and they can contact us, and we provide them with any information they need. And we understand this question, but we are also we are registered here in the United States. We are one of the oldest organizations. We are registered in Jordan, in West Bank, in Gaza, in Jerusalem, and in many areas in West Bank.
Absolutely. Is there anything I haven't asked you that people need to know?
Well, actually, thank you. The main thing is the main issue now is to help people. So please, $1 can be a big help. Don't think that whatever money you can help us, whatever money you can donate, please don't hesitate. Yeah, there are some other organizations. Some people say there is the United Nations, there is this and that in Gaza. Yes, they are, but they're mostly focused on the infrastructure. And this is after the war, aftermath, after things happen to build houses. Yeah. But now at this time, it's the food, the health equipment, the health medication that nobody else. Okay, I want to say honestly, other than us, if there is another organization that are doing this at this time, we sent money already, okay, for this emergency relief. So please, okay, other organizations, they do a great job, but not the big organizations. They don't do what we are doing now on the ground when it comes to food, blankets, lights, water, medical equipment. So this is the huge need that is really needed at this time. And please, just call us, come and visit us. I want to put my phone number also, because some people, they call me. My phone number is 313-766-8712. So if anybody has any questions, any concerns, please call us. And please, 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 the victims in Gaza need us. And, we really need to help them.
Absolutely, absolutely. A lot of people don't know this, but few dollars can go a long way there, and few dollars can provide a lot of help. Also, the fact that the United Nations has a huge bureaucracy. Not all the funds that you donate goes to people, but organizations like yours, provides more help than the UN does. So we ask you kindly to, if you want to help, to reach out and help, because this is something very important. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time to be with us, and we appreciate all you do to all the services you provide worldwide.
Can I add one small thing?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Mr. House. Okay, we are our own. We have our own office, our own crew, our own staff. So there is no middleman between us and providing the service. So people need to know, like the money goes directly to the people who need it. And once again, we really need everybody's help. And thank you so much for having me on this program. And we really have a great faith with our people, organizations, mosques, churches, hospitals, doctors, professionals to help us in this, as they usually do. And thank you so much. Please continue supporting us.
We'll do. Thank you again for being with us. We're gonna take a short break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Life is a nonprofit charity that's provided humanitarian aid and development to people and communities for over 25 years, regardless of race, color, religion, or cultural background. When disaster occurs here or around the world, Life for Relief and Development rushes in to provide food, medical aid, and shelter to those in need. Please help improve these efforts. Make your tax-deductible donation to Life now at lifeusa.org or call 248-424-7493. Kashat's Mediterranean Market in Shish Kebab offers a great array of your favorite Mediterranean meals. Meals range from lamb specialties, shawarma sandwiches, and seafood dinners. Plus, they offer big trays of your favorite food and so much more. Kashat's Mediterranean Market in Shish Kebab is located at 32839 Northwestern Highway in Farmington Hills and is open from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. So stop in or call Kashat's today at 248-538-9552. That number again, 248-538-9552. Kashat's Mediterranean Market in Shish Kebab will definitely leave you satisfied.
Are your hands feeling numb? Do you feel pain opening up a jar, turning a key? Are you noticing that your elbow and your shoulder are becoming stiff? Or were you recently injured in your arm? Hello, I'm Dr. Al-Majid Katranji, and at the Katranji Hand Center, which just recently opened down the street from the Somerset Mall, we can provide you with the latest in hand, wrist, elbow, and shoulder care. Visit us at www.katranjihandcenter.com to learn the latest techniques that we have to offer you, and I look forward to taking care of you.
Visit us in Troy at 1565 West Big Beaver Road, Building F, or call Katranji Hand Center for an appointment at 248-869-4263. That's 248-869-4263. Get ready for an amazing experience at Ishtar Restaurant on 15 Mile Road in Sterling Heights. Enjoy excellent hospitality from owners Ali Al-Baghdadi and Fatty Bonham, serving the best in Mediterranean food. Try Chef Ali Al-Baghdadi's famous shawarma, the best Iraqi grills and food, and the best Arabic and international dishes. Dine in our authentic atmosphere or take out. Call 586-698-2585 or check us out on Facebook. Ishtar Restaurant practices all CDC guidelines and is open every day 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Have an amazing experience today at Ishtar Restaurant, 3625 15 Mile Road, Sterling Heights.
Welcome back, and thank you for being with us. I want to thank Relief for all they do, and Mr. Dr. Abed for being with us. You know, the issue with Gaza, this is, aside from politics and aside from, you know, all the nonsense that goes out there, this is one of the worst humanitarian situation, you know, Gaza and Yemen. These are really, really pretty bad. And the reason I say these two, because they both can be avoidable if we had, you know, Arab countries and world countries that have conscience, and they don't. And, you know, the war in Yemen could end tomorrow. This is a nonsense war. This is, you know, and I've said this before. How much did it cost Saudi Arabia to wage that war on Yemen? And I understand all of the other countries are involved and the people from the outside and all of that and all of that and all of that. But if the intention is to save lives, we could do a lot more better to save lives, and the U.S. could do a lot more better to save lives, because, you know, U.S. and Britain and England are the two dominant countries are pushing that war in Yemen. The situation there is horrible, and I said this before, and that is, if Saudi Arabia had given all that money to the Yemenis would worship the Saudis and tell them, whatever you want, we'll give you. So always, you know, war is not always the best option. And the same thing in Gaza. You know, what happened there, to refresh your memory, if you forgot and if you don't know. Originally there was nobody living in Gaza. Gaza was an open area where when Israel was created, people 1948 and 67, both wars, you know, people went there to set up camps because they fled the war, and then they stayed there, and then it became this literally maybe 2 million people there, or 1.5 million people living there, in an area so small, densely populated, no resources. And it is under blockade. Israel occupied Gaza for the longest time, and then Israel retreated from Gaza. And the reason Israel retreated from Gaza is because there was no use of being there after the freshwater aquifers dried out in Gaza. Israel retreated from Gaza, but continued the blockade on Gaza. So with the help of Egypt. So Egypt and Israel are sandwiching in the Palestinians there. And I understand that, you know, all of the organizations excuse me, all the organizations there and the Hamas and all of that. And I understand that, but at the end of the day, sometimes in the midst of all this politics, we forget the suffering of the people. So people are suffering, and all of the Arab countries are and the Palestinians and everybody is to blame for what's going on in Gaza. It's really, really a horrible, horrible situation. Mike Jerry is on the line, isn't he?
Good morning, Mr. Khalil Hachem.
How are you?
Fine. How are you, sir?
Wonderful.
Mr. Khalil Hachem, I appreciate taking my call, and thanks to you and to your producer, Mike Shifka.
We like
Mr.
you, Jerry.
Khalil Hachem. Pardon me?
We like you.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Khalil. I love you guys. Thank you. I appreciate your service to the community, Mr. Khalil,
Absolutely.
you and the founder, Ms. Layla Al-Husseini, and all the team with you from Ray Hanani, Dr. Asif Abdul Jawad, Samah Al-Hadi, Adil Muazzab, and more and more and more. Mr. Khalil, what I try to say, please, if you allow me to say it in Arabic, I want more people to understand my point. If you don't mind, Mr. Khalil.
Go ahead.
Mr. Khalil, شكرا. شاهدت في قنوات التلفزة المحلية حادث مؤسف قام به أحد رجال الأمن أو الشرطة في مدينة جروس بوينت فارم ضد شخص من أصول شرق أوسطية اسمه أتذكر محسن. قام هذا الشخص رجل الأمن بمعاملة هذا الشخص معاملة غير إنسانية مع الأسف الشديد. أستاذ خليل، سؤالي هنا، ماذا علينا نحن كأبناء الجاليات الشرق أوسطية العمل ضد هكذا عمل غير طبيعي وغير إنساني، ليس لأنه عربي لكن ضد أي فرد من أفراد المجتمع المدني، وخصوصا إذا كانت تخص القضية شخص عربي، فإذا حدثت له تحدث لي وتحدث لك. ولذلك نريد أن نعمل شيء لعدم تكرار هذه الأعمال من قبل رجال الشرطة. أرجو التعليق إذا أمكن.
Yes.
أستاذ خليل
Yes.
هاشم.
Absolutely. And again, the question here is that there was an issue with the, one of police officer in a nearby towns and behaving in not so good way toward a civilian. In this situation, Jerry, we are fortunate to live in a place where we can do something about it. There is a system here, it's called redress. And redress means that first we have to report it. We go to the supervisor of that person and we say, here's what happened. We would like an investigation. Most police officers are equipped with cameras. And these cameras, whenever there's an encounter, they need to be on. So most likely that encounter has been recorded. Also, we need to find out if there are any bystanders who have recorded what happened. And I always encourage people when they're stopped, when they encounter police officers, to record it themselves, open their camera and record it, because that's going to provide hard evidence to the encounter. Most police officers are really 99.9% of them are there to do a job, and they do it very well, and they serve and protect. There are few bad apples there, and we don't want these few bad apples to ruin the sacrifices that others do. It's something very, very important to remember. Now, when an unfortunate thing happens, is number one, we have to report it. Number two, we have to follow up. Number three, as a community, we need to get together and meet with the authorities to make sure that they know we're aware of it and they know that we're going to follow up on this. And then follow up, there are several organizations that do a great job in following up on this. We need to reach out to them and get them involved. Organizations can deal with it better. First, they have the staff to follow up. Second, they have lawyers if need to be. They can file lawsuits. For example, the police organization can say, you know, we don't want to do anything about it, or we've done anything about it, everything is okay. But these organizations can and will, you know, force them legally to disclose information. This is something very important. And if we don't complain, if we don't raise our voice, things will not change. And this is what we need to do. I'm going to be talking more about this in a second. We're going to take a short break. Please stay tuned.
Thank you.
When you're looking for the best in optical care, Dr. Imad Nakash is your doctor to see. With years of experience and thousands of successful procedures performed, you can trust your eyes to Dr. Imad Nakash. See Dr. Imad Nakash and his professional staff for your eye care needs. There's 2 locations to serve you. In Hazel Park, call 248-336-3937. 248-336-3937. In Rochester Hills, call 248-299-3937. That's 248-299-3937.
Ziyad brand. Quality products from our family to yours. Ziyad Brothers Importing offers the finest quality products, including brands like Sultan, Kraft, Nestle, Hook, Rico Picon, Dana, and many more. Ask your retailer to carry these fine products because you deserve the very best. For more information, visit our website at www.ziyad.com. That's www.ziyad.com. Ziyad, quality products from our family to yours.
Are you going to start a restaurant or a grocery store soon? Do you need floor plans and designs? Call Naji Abood at 734-744-9796. Do you want to buy kitchen and restaurant equipment at discount prices? Call Naji Abood now, 734-744-9796. New Concept Products and Design, the trademark of kitchen equipment. 5% discount on all purchases of $75,000 or more. New Concept Products and Design, new location, 31185 Schoolcraft in Livonia. Learn more at www.newconceptproducts.com. Call Naji Abood, 734-744-9796.
Enjoy the first Syrian-style cuisine in Michigan. At Damas Cuisine and Catering, you'll find a wide selection of Syrian foods and sweets in our menu, like frikeh, poisi, grape leaves with steak, mishawi platter, hot mahashi, char-grilled kebab, shawarma, and much more. Get super fast delivery from Damas Cuisine and Catering right to your door. Order online at damascuisine.com/menu and track your order live. Damas Cuisine and Catering, 28841 Orchard Lake Road in Farmington Hills. Call 248-987-4985.
Welcome back and thank you for being with us. This is Khalil Hachem, 248-557-3300. Should you have any questions or comment, give us a call. And thank you, Jerry, for raising an important issue, and that is what to do when things go wrong. And if you've been with us from the beginning of the program, Chris Perry, who is in charge of the airport security, which means that immigration and customs, said the same thing. If you're not happy with the service that the men and women are providing, you ask for their supervisor and you talk to them right there on the spot while it is hot. Don't wait 4 months, 5 months, whatever it is to bring it up. The same thing happens if you encounter an issue with any police agency. You do the same thing. You just complain about it, and you do it the right way. Make sure you're right. You don't want to complain because you don't like something. No, complain if there's something wrong. Okay. And if you think that somebody's not being sensitive enough or somebody's not being right, just complain about it. And nothing is better than put it on paper. There'll be a paper trail. So if there is any litigation, then there's paper trail. Immediately, while it's warm, go ahead and report it. Okay. Ask the officer, I need your name, I need your number, I need this, and then document the time that they talk to you. And then go immediately to the station, call one of the organizations, you need to put something on record. It shows that you did complain about it, that that incident took place, and then that will allow, the police to provide you with the evidence. We are fortunate to live in a country where we can do something about it. The wheels of justice in this country sometimes are very slow, but if you follow it, if you do something about it, we will get there. We do in the community here, there's a large group of people that meet with various different groups of agencies, and then we bring up issues. But if we don't know what happened that day, we cannot help you. And even more importantly, if we don't know what's going on, we cannot prevent it from happening again. It's very important to really report it, and it's very important to ask for the supervisor, find out why, and then you may learn something from it. Maybe you're wrong. Okay, maybe that person really behaved in a way that they're doing their job. Keep in mind, it doesn't matter where it is. When you encounter, two things are very important. Number one, that police officer is working for you, whether it is at the airport or whether it is on the street or anywhere else. Your taxes pay their salary. So these people are working for you. They're not working against you. They're working for you. They're trying to help you, trying to keep you safe, make your life easier. Okay, this is their job. And number two, if something goes wrong, you can do something about it. Okay, and you need to obey. And if a police officer tells you step out of the car, you step out of the car. You didn't say no. Okay, you step out of the car. If the police says turn off your car, you turn it off. It's very important to de-escalate if there is an encounter with the police officer. I remember I was in Washington. I was a reporter, and then the police came and said, everybody needs to move out of here. And we had a right to be there. Okay, we had a permission to be there. And I said, sir, we have a permission to be here. He said, no, everybody needs to move out. We moved out, and then we asked that police officer to call his supervisor and his sergeant or whoever supervisor came in. And I said to him, we have a right to be here, and here is our permission. And the guy said, absolutely. And he brought us back. So there was no escalation. That guy is doing his job. Okay. He may not be trained well. He may not know these sensitivities. He may not know certain things, but first you have to obey. Do not escalate the situation into confrontation, because you're going to lose. Okay, you're going to lose, and everybody's going to lose. It's very important. De-escalate. The other day I was telling my son, I said, he's learning how to drive, and I said, whenever a police officer stops you, you put your hands on the wheel, and then you put your windows down, and then whatever he tells you, you do. And if there's anything wrong, we can take it up with the police, but first you obey. Second, you just keep in mind, you remember what he said, and come tell me about it, and then we could do something about it. But you cannot disobey, and then create a problem, and now you have an issue with the police, and then you're going to be facing a bigger issue, and that is not obeying the police. Okay, so you don't know what he's after, so let him tell you. It's very important. Again, at the airport, same way. If you're unhappy, even if you're happy, go ahead and let them know that you're happy. This is one of the things, is that we don't want to operate like a plumbing, meaning that as long as the water comes out of the faucet, everybody's happy, but we complain when there's no water. Okay, if somebody's doing a good job, encourage them. Okay, let them know that they're doing a good job. Okay, it doesn't really hurt. I do that sometimes when I come through the airport. And I have really good experience. I always go on the website and I say, thank you for all you do. I had a good experience today. I came in from so-and-so country and I was treated well. And I appreciate the training that you provide these officers in doing so. Same thing, you encounter somebody on the road, somebody helps you. I remember in Florida, this gentleman, this officer stopped because we were having problems with the car, and he helped us. He pushed the car. He did a lot of things. So I went ahead and sent a thank you note to his boss, and that can go a long way because it would encourage other officers to behave the same way. We're all working together. This is called a society, and a society, every member is working together. So it's very important, to hear for these agencies to hear from you, not only when there's something wrong, but also when things are going well. The last thing I want to talk about is the economy, and the economy is doing better than we thought it was going to be doing, regardless of inflation. And inflation rose to 8.5% over last year in July, but it was still less than what it was in June, which means inflation is tapering off. Gas prices is below $4 and it's starting to drop below $4, which is really good. And thanks to you, because you're responding to this and you are limiting, whether you mean it or not, you are limiting your spending habits. Limiting your spending habits allow us to get back on track. The economy is doing better. The job market is better. And then everything else is looking really good. If we continue on this track, we will avoid a recession. And that was the whole idea of trying to get inflation under control. Inflation is when prices are going up and people continue to buy. You don't want to do that, okay? You do not want to do that. If things you think they're expensive and you don't need them, desperately need them, don't get them, okay? Just don't get them. This is a market economy. The less you demand, the price will fall. It's very simple. Okay, if you don't need it, I just go to the supermarket and I look at what people are buying, and it's like, do you really need all of that? You don't need them. So if you don't need it, don't buy it. If you don't really need it, don't buy it. If it is, I give this lecture to my children. I say, if this item is worth $100, okay, and they have it on sale for $5. But you really don't need it. Is that a good deal? And the first impression, they say, yes, it is. And I say, no, it's not, because you don't need it. Even if you're saving $95, you're still wasting $5 because you do not need that item. So if you don't need it, don't buy it, okay? And if you need eggs, don't buy 2 or 3 dozen, just buy one. There'll be eggs next week at the market. The whole idea is reduce demand. And this is what happened with the housing market. I'm in real estate. And the housing market demand continue to be strong, but buyers are not out there as they used to. Now prices are stabilizing a little bit, so it's very important. It's still a good market to sell, but what it is that prices are stabilizing. We don't see those crazy overbidding anymore, which is really good, which makes it really good time to buy and a good time to sell, because you still can get good price for your home. And it's a good time to buy if you need a home. It's much better than renting, because if you're renting, you're wasting money out of the window. I understand that the interest rate are up, but they'll go down. So don't worry about that. And buying a home is for long term. You need help trying to figure out whether you need to buy and sell. Have a conversation with an expert, and then they'll be able to help you. Give me a call, 313-819-0101. 313-819-0101, and have a conversation with somebody you trust. They're going to tell you the truth, what the market is, and whether this is a good time for you and how to do it. If you own a home, the transition from this to that, and when is a good time to do it. So when we're talking to us, the idea is not to make you sell or to make you buy. The idea is to give you the best answer. Again, 313-819-0101. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you, Mr. Perez, and thank you, Mr. Allman, and thank you, Jerry, for calling. Thank you, Mike, for great production. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Bye now.